Subscribe. So in today's session, we will be discussing statistics for business decision. This section will cover the introduction of the entire course, Statistics for Business Decisions. For this section, we will discuss what statistics is about. That is, the 5 process under statistics. Business statistics will also be explained. Then the statistical procedures as well as the procedures or methods for data collection will then be explained. Statistics involves 5 core areas/steps. Collection of data, organization of the data, presentation of the data, analyzing the data, and interpreting the data. Collection of data, this is the first step in any statistical analysis, where relevant data is gathered for analysis. The goal is to obtain accurate and relevant data that will help in answering specific research questions or hypotheses. The collection of data is the foundational step in statistical analysis and involves gathering relevant and accurate information to address specific research questions or hypotheses. This process can be carried out through various methods, including surveys, experiments, observations, or secondary data sources like government reports or previous research studies. Ensuring the data's reliability and validity is crucial, as it directly impacts the study's outcomes. Decisions made during this stage, such as choosing a representative sample and employing appropriate data collection techniques, are vital for the integrity of the research. The collection phase sets the stage for all subsequent statistical work, making it essential to execute it with precision and care. Organization of the data. Once data is collected, it needs to be organized in a manner that makes it easy to analyze. This involves arranging and classifying the data systematically. Once the data is collected, the next step is to organize it systematically. This process involves classifying, sorting, and arranging data in a structured format, such as spreadsheets or databases, to make it manageable and ready for analysis. Data organization also includes cleaning the data by identifying and correcting errors, handling missing values, and ensuring consistency across the dataset. Effective data organization facilitates easier access and retrieval of information, aiding in the accurate analysis and interpretation of data. By creating a coherent structure, researchers can more efficiently identify patterns, trends, and relationships within the data, setting the groundwork for meaningful analysis. Presentation of the data. Data presentation involves displaying the data in a way that is easy to understand and interpret. The presentation of data is about conveying the organized data in a clear and understandable manner, often using tables, charts, graphs, or other visual aids. This step is crucial for summarizing complex information and highlighting key findings, making it easier for audiences to comprehend and interpret the data. Effective data presentation involves selecting the right type of visual representation for the data, considering factors like the nature of the data and the audience's level of expertise. Whether it's a bar chart showing sales growth or a pie chart illustrating market share, presenting data visually can enhance communication and facilitate better decision-making by providing a straightforward view of the data's implications. Analyzing the data. Data analysis involves applying statistical methods to interpret and make sense of the organized data. Data analysis is the core of statistical work, involving the application of various statistical methods and techniques to draw insights and make informed decisions. This step includes descriptive analysis, which summarizes the main features of the data, and inferential analysis, which involves making predictions or generalizations about a population based on a sample. Techniques used in data analysis range from simple measures of central tendency, such as mean and median, to more complex methods like regression analysis, hypothesis testing, or machine learning algorithms. The goal of data analysis is to uncover patterns, correlations, and trends that can answer research questions or test hypotheses, ultimately leading to new insights and understanding. Interpreting the data. Data interpretation involves drawing conclusions from the analyzed data and determining their significance in the context of the research questions or hypotheses. Interpreting the data is the final step in the statistical process, where the results of the analysis are examined in the context of the research questions or hypotheses. This involves explaining the significance of the findings, considering the potential implications, and assessing any limitations or uncertainties in the data. Interpretation goes beyond merely stating the results. It requires critical thinking to relate the findings to real-world scenarios or theoretical frameworks. Effective interpretation helps translate statistical outcomes into actionable insights, providing valuable information for decision-makers, policymakers, or stakeholders. It ensures that the statistical analysis leads to meaningful conclusions that can inform future research, strategy development, or policy formulation. Based on the definition of statistics, we can now talk about what business statistics is about. So business statistics involves the application of statistical tools and techniques to analyze and interpret data in a business context. It is used to make informed business decisions by collecting, analyzing, and interpreting data relevant to various business functions such as marketing, finance, operations, and management. Business statistics is a branch of applied statistics that focuses on the analysis and interpretation of data relevant to business operations and decision-making. It plays a critical role in helping businesses make informed decisions by providing quantitative insights into various aspects of their operations. This field encompasses a wide range of activities, including collecting, organizing, analyzing, and interpreting data to address business challenges and opportunities. By leveraging statistical techniques, businesses can gain a better understanding of market trends, customer preferences, operational efficiency, financial performance, and much more. One of the primary objectives of business statistics is to aid in decision-making by providing a solid empirical basis for evaluating different strategies and actions. Through statistical analysis, businesses can forecast demand, optimize pricing strategies, assess the effectiveness of marketing campaigns, and identify areas for cost reduction. For example, a company might use regression analysis to determine the factors influencing sales and use these insights to develop targeted marketing strategies. In addition, business statistics help organizations measure performance, identify trends over time, and anticipate future developments, enabling them to stay competitive in a dynamic market environment. Furthermore, business statistics play a vital role in risk management by helping organizations assess and mitigate potential risks. Statistical methods can be used to model uncertainties and variability in business processes, allowing companies to evaluate the likelihood and impact of different risks. For instance, statistical tools can be employed to analyze the volatility of financial markets, helping businesses make informed investment decisions and manage their financial portfolios effectively. By understanding the statistical probabilities associated with various risks, businesses can develop robust risk management strategies that protect their interests and ensure long-term sustainability. Overall, business statistics provide a framework for making data-driven decisions that enhance organizational efficiency and effectiveness. By integrating statistical analysis into their decision-making processes, businesses can leverage data as a strategic asset, turning information into insights and insights into actionable strategies. As data continues to grow in volume and complexity, the importance of business statistics is expected to increase, making it an indispensable tool for businesses aiming to thrive in an increasingly data-driven world. The next section talks about the statistical procedures. There are two main statistical procedures. These are the descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Descriptive statistics involve summarizing and organizing data to describe the basic features of a data set. They provide simple summaries about the sample and the measures. Descriptive statistics involve summarizing and organizing data to provide a clear and straightforward overview of its key features. This branch of statistics focuses on quantitatively describing the main characteristics of a dataset without drawing conclusions or making predictions beyond the data at hand. Common descriptive statistics include measures of central tendency, such as the mean, average, median, the middle value, and mode, the most frequently occurring value. These measures provide a snapshot of where the data tends to cluster. In addition to central tendency, descriptive statistics also consider measures of variability or dispersion, such as the range, the difference between the highest and lowest values, variance, the average squared deviation from the mean, and standard deviation, the square root of the variance. These measures help assess the spread and consistency of the data, providing insights into the variability within a dataset. Visual tools like histograms, bar charts, and box plots are often used in conjunction with descriptive statistics to present data in a more accessible format, allowing for easier identification of patterns, trends, and outliers. Inferential statistics involve making predictions or inferences about a population based on a sample of data. It is used to draw conclusions and make predictions that extend beyond the immediate data. It involves using sample data to make inferences or predictions about a larger population. This branch of statistics allows researchers and analysts to draw conclusions about population parameters based on sample statistics. Inferential statistics is essential when it is impractical or impossible to study an entire population due to constraints such as time, cost, or accessibility. Key techniques in inferential statistics include hypothesis testing and confidence intervals. Hypothesis testing is used to assess the validity of a claim or assumption about a population parameter, such as the mean or proportion. This process involves formulating a null hypothesis, a statement of no effect or difference, and an alternative hypothesis, a statement indicating an effect or difference, then using statistical tests to determine whether there is enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis. Confidence intervals, on the other hand, provide a range of values within which a population parameter is likely to fall, offering a measure of uncertainty associated with the estimate. Another important aspect of inferential statistics is regression analysis, which examines the relationship between variables and can be used for making predictions. For example, a business might use regression analysis to predict future sales based on advertising expenditure or economic indicators. Overall, inferential statistics enable researchers and decision-makers to generalize findings from a sample to a broader population, helping them make informed decisions and draw meaningful conclusions from their data. The next section talks about the method and procedures for data collection. The method or procedures for data collections includes experiments, telephone surveys, questionnaires, surveys, and observations and interview. Experiments. An experiment is a process that produces a single outcome whose result cannot be predicted with certainty. An experiment is a research method used to investigate cause and effect relationships by manipulating one or more independent variables and observing the effect on dependent variables. Experiments are typically conducted in controlled environments where researchers can isolate variables and minimize external influences, allowing them to draw clearer conclusions about causal relationships. This method is often used in scientific research and psychology to test hypotheses and theories. The advantages of using experiments are as follows. 1. Tighter control of variables. Experiments allow researchers to control extraneous variables that might otherwise confound the results. By keeping these variables constant, researchers can more accurately determine the causal relationship between the independent and dependent variables. 2. Easier to comment on cause and effect. Because experiments involve manipulation and control, they provide a more straightforward way to identify causal links between variables. Researchers can make stronger inferences about cause and effect relationships compared to observational studies. 3. Relatively easy to replicate. The controlled nature of experiments means they can often be repeated by other researchers, allowing for the verification and validation of results. Replication helps ensure the reliability and generalizability of findings. The disadvantages of experiment are as follows. 1. Costly. Conducting experiments can be expensive, requiring specialized equipment, facilities, and personnel. These costs can be a significant barrier, especially for large-scale or long-term studies. 2. Time-consuming. Designing and conducting experiments, particularly those with multiple trials or complex setups, can be time-consuming. Additionally, analyzing experimental data can require substantial time and effort. 3. Artificial environment, low realism. The controlled settings of experiments can create artificial environments that may not accurately reflect real-world conditions. This lack of ecological validity can limit the generalizability of the findings to real-life situations. The next procedure for data collection is telephone surveys. One of the methods of collecting data from a specific target or general population is the telephone surveys. Telephone surveys are a method of collecting data by contacting respondents over the phone and asking them a series of questions. This method is commonly used in market research, opinion polling, and public health studies to gather information from a specific target or general population. Telephone surveys offer a practical and efficient way to collect data from a large number of respondents across different geographic regions. Some of the advantages of telephone surveys are as follows. 1. Wide geographic access. Telephone surveys enable researchers to reach respondents across diverse locations without the need for physical travel. This wide geographic reach makes it possible to collect data from a broad and representative sample. 2. Cost and time effective. Compared to face-to-face interviews or mailed questionnaires, telephone surveys are generally less expensive and quicker to conduct. They allow for rapid data collection and can be completed within a short time frame. The disadvantages of telephone surveys also include the following. 1. Limited complexity of questions. Telephone surveys are typically limited to straightforward questions that can be easily understood and answered over the phone. Complex or lengthy questions may not be suitable for this format, potentially limiting the depth of information gathered. 2. Hard to make a connection. Establishing rapport with respondents over the phone can be challenging, making it difficult to engage them and elicit detailed responses. Respondents may also be less willing to participate or provide candid answers due to the impersonal nature of phone calls. 3. Intrusive for customers. Some respondents may find telephone surveys intrusive, especially if they are contacted at inconvenient times or receive multiple survey calls. This intrusion can lead to lower response rates and potential biases in the data collected. The next method or procedures for data collection is questionnaire surveys. These are similar to telephone surveys, but the difference is that it includes open-ended questions. Questionnaire surveys are a common method of data collection that involves asking respondents to complete a series of questions, typically in written form. These surveys can include a mix of closed-ended questions, which have predetermined response options, and open-ended questions, which allow respondents to provide more detailed and qualitative responses. Questionnaires can be distributed through various channels, such as mail, online platforms, or in person, making them versatile and accessible. Some of the advantages of questionnaire surveys are as follows. 1. Inexpensive. Questionnaire surveys are relatively low cost compared to other data collection methods. Printing, distributing, and processing questionnaires are often less expensive, especially when conducted online. 2. Can expand length. Unlike telephone surveys, questionnaire surveys allow for longer and more detailed questions. Respondents can take their time to answer, which can lead to more comprehensive data collection. 3. Can use open-ended questions. Open-ended questions in questionnaires provide respondents with the opportunity to express their thoughts, opinions, and experiences in their own words, offering richer and more nuanced data. Some of the disadvantages of questionnaire surveys are as follows. 1. Low response rate. Questionnaire surveys often suffer from low response rates, particularly if the survey is lengthy or not incentivized. This can lead to potential biases in the data if certain groups are underrepresented. 2. Requires exceptional clarity. To avoid misinterpretation, questionnaire surveys must be carefully designed with clear and concise questions. Poorly worded questions can lead to misunderstandings and unreliable data. The last method/procedures for data collections is observation surveys. Observation surveys involve collecting data through direct observation of behaviors, events, or processes. This method focuses on recording what takes place in a natural setting, often without interacting with the subjects being observed. Observation surveys are commonly used in fields such as anthropology, sociology, and market research to study consumer behavior, social interactions, and workplace dynamics. Now let's check out the advantages. 1. Naturally studied behavior. Since observation surveys can be conducted in a disguised or unobtrusive manner, the behavior of subjects is often more natural and genuine. This helps in collecting authentic data that reflects real-world actions and interactions. 2. Cost-effective and valid results. Observation techniques can be cost-effective, especially when compared to more structured methods like experiments. They provide valid and reliable data because they capture actual behavior rather than self-reported responses. Let's look at some of the disadvantages as well. 1. Little control over physical situation. Observational studies offer limited control over external variables and conditions. This can make it challenging to isolate specific factors that may influence the observed behavior or events. 2. Lack of clarity. Interpretation of observational data can be subjective and may lack clarity, especially if the observer's presence influences the subject's behavior or if the observer's biases affect the data collection process. Clear guidelines and training are essential to minimize these issues. This brings us to the end of the lessons. The channel is TechByte Insight. Kindly subscribe. See you in the next lesson. Thank you.